All right, whenever you're ready.
Women's education in Pakistan. This graph shows boys have more access than girls. The dark blue is boys and the light blue is girls.
This is a picture of Mayala. Is you Sabi? How do you say that? She's an education activist that got shot in the head by the Taliban.
Okay, before the Taliban, women's rights weren't always restricted as badly. There was reforms made during, like before the Taliban, to help women's social status. There was even a female prime minister, Benazir. She was our first prime minister, and the first prime minister in the Islamic world said Malala Yousafzai. When the Taliban came, however, everything's changed, and the Taliban restricted women's rights to an education, and they made women have to like walk accompanied by a man, which reduced their social status to that of just a housewife.
Women in Pakistan have been treated as lesser sex. They are taught and raised to take care of the household responsibilities, whereas men in Pakistan are taught to get educated and get a good job. And the lack of education in women leads to the lack of economic opportunities. It's a reason why only 8% of women in Pakistan make some kind of income. And that's stated by Munir from the University of Lahore. And the lack of women in the workforce causes the economy of Pakistan to be very bad. It's a failing economy for their population size. They're ranked 44th in the world with the GDP rating. While most of their country is impoverished, there's 20 million people in Pakistan that are poverty stricken.
Legally, in Pakistan, women have the right to an education as the Constitution obligates the state to provide free and compulsory education for children aged 5 through 16. The issue is the Pakistani government failing to enforce their laws, leading to militant groups such as the Taliban being able to enact violence against girls in schools. The Taliban uses religion as a reason to restrict girls' education, even though the Quran says that everyone should be educated. According to Prophet Muhammad, seeking knowledge is a duty for every Muslim, man or woman. Another issue is just societal norms. According to Malala Yousafzai, a women's rights activist and writer from Pakistan, most families do not send their girls to school, only their sons, because there's no use in going to school to just end up cooking, cleaning, and raising children.
Women experience multiple different forms of discrimination and violence in Pakistan, such as verbal abuse, rape, and even honor killings. An honor killing is usually done by a male in the family, and they do this because it defames the family name, and that is one big form of violence against women. And the Taliban usually is the ones who commit all these forms of violence. They make it like one of their main goals to not allow women to get an education in fear of women gaining power over them. And the government has done very little to help women in this situation, but mainly because they really can't, because the Taliban is currently in control over Pakistan, and they have been before, and they just constantly keep overthrowing the government.
Many legislative laws have been passed to encourage women's education and to rebuild some of the schools that the Taliban has destroyed. The issue that is the main problem is the lack of enforcement of these laws. As these laws are being passed, many people are not implementing them. So everyone is aware of these laws, but many people just look the other way when they are not being followed. Religion is also used as a way against education, as improper translations of religious texts prevent people from knowing what is right and what is wrong. Violence is also preventing this equality, as 204 Taliban attacks against schools have occurred, and women are beaten with lashes if they are seen leaving their house for educational purposes. And a Pakistani writer and head of several national and international government organizations talked about this in one of the press conferences.
Here you can see this is the literacy rate among children aged 10 or older. This is actually from the 2017 census. And
Our solution/resolution is assistance from other countries. The limitation on that is Pakistan not accepting the help from the other countries.
For reasons why Pakistan may not even be able to get help is because there's some tension from accusations of harboring bin Laden during 9/11, and America and Pakistan are not on the best of terms and haven't been since then.
As tension has been decreasing, America and Pakistan are beginning to get on better terms. As the U.S. official government website discusses, they work together on many issues.
The U.S. and Pakistan can work together on energy, trade and investment, health, clean energy, climate crisis, and counterterrorism.
We're done.
Okay, just tell me next time, just,
Okay, I'm
thank you for
sorry.
your time. Okay, so now we've got some questions to do. All right, Kaylee, let's start with you. Reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem that your group identified?
Madison's paper had the greatest, gave me the greatest overall understanding of the problem in our paper. She had the cultural lens, and our problem dealt more with the cultural aspect of things than any other lens would do. She explained how religion influenced the Taliban and how Taliban restricted rights to women's education.
All right, Alex, what is a way in which your team's resolution makes you think differently about your own individual research?
About my individual.
Yeah, what is the way in which your team's resolution makes you think differently about your own individual research?
That other countries could help better their economy instead of just letting it keep going bad. Like my resolution was kind of like help that if women were in the workforce more and they were encouraged, that it would help, and if other countries would come in and help boost women empowerment and help their economy, that it would help the country and poverty in the country.
Okay. Madison, what is an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual research reports that you decided to exclude from the team's presentation, and why?
We decided to exclude from Alex's paper. He had the economic lens, and he talked about land ownership in Pakistan, which it was quite compelling to see how women have no control over that stuff and how they don't really own or control any kind of land. It was compelling, but we decided to exclude it from our presentation because it didn't really fit into the overall our resolution. It wasn't entirely useful.
All right. Luke, if you had another team member, what other perspectives or limitations could they have researched that would have made a useful contribution to the project?
Another lens I would have liked to seen it through would probably be the scientific lens. I feel like this would have brought in more statistics and more just overall facts, I guess you could say. Just seeing the more statistical side of it, I feel like would maybe even, I don't know, change them maybe a little bit of views, I guess.
Okay. Ashley, give one specific way that your thinking changed as a result of learning about Kaylee's findings.
A lot of Kaylee's findings showed how the Taliban has dictated a lot that goes on in Pakistan ever since they entered the country. So I think that idea really influenced mine a lot on the side of how it will change in the future, as looking at the past is a good way to predict.
All right, thank you guys.